Alright guys, here is part 2 of a 3-part evil death metal series. I'm calling this little tune Binding Spells. And by the way, I'll have links to each of the lessons in this series in the description of this video. So be sure to check that out after you watch this video here. There are 2 core riffs, but just like part 1, there's one part that has a harmonizing guitar in there. So I want to give you that in this lesson as well. So really 3 riffs. It's like a 3-for-1 special here, right? So we're starting out on the A and D strings. Let me play this first part. We'll break this up into bite-sized chunks. By the way, if you're on my Patreon, you guys have the tabs and the backing tracks, so make sure you download those. So here's the first part we'll learn. Okay? So what I want you to do is just to practice this little piece right here a little bit. We're on the A and D strings. I'm in standard tuning. We're starting out on the D string 8th fret. Okay, we're going to play that, and then we're going to go over to the A string 7th fret, and then we'll palm mute that, okay? Okay? Now, we're going to do the same thing, but just move it a half step up, and then we're going to come right back, okay? So here we go. It's like, hey, I'm going somewhere, but I'll be right back. Now, I love this as an exercise. I'm playing downstrokes for this part. We're about to switch over to some alternate picking, though. That's coming up right now. But I like playing this because you're playing downstrokes and you're going back and forth between the 2 strings, and you're also you're picking one note without palm muting while you're palm muting the other. So you've got a combination of little techniques. So let's just go through this one more time before we go to the next part here. Because again, I think this is just a really cool exercise to practice, okay, and expand on. After that, the first time, again, we're switching from downstrokes to alternate picking. So let me play this through. We're going to go over to the D string, okay, and we're going to some alternate picking. Now, those notes on the D string were on the 10th fret. We're going to go to the 9th. Then we're going to go to 6 followed by 7. So it's like this. Remember, I like to break things down. Let's remove the tremolo picking, the alternate picking for a bit. That's it. So if we put those together, we come up with this. Now, the second time around, we basically do the exact same thing, but the tremolo picking part, we're going to play that a little differently. We're going to just go up about a whole step for that, okay? So now we're on 12, 11, followed by 8 and 9. So just like this. Now, let's put all of that together. I'm going to go through this pretty slow. Of course, we'll have the tabs up here to follow along with. Now, there's a whole different riff that we're about to learn. It's pretty simple for the most part. Before we do that, though, I want to share the harmonizing parts with you, okay? So there's a second guitar that's harmonizing. You guys know I like to record 2 rhythm tracks, hard pan each of them. That just gives you that nice full sound. And that second guitar, a lot of times I'll throw in some little harmonies. So I want to start sharing that kind of stuff on my lessons here, because I think this will be helpful, right? All we're harmonizing, though. So this part stays the same. Okay, both guitars play that, but whereas you've got guitar 1 playing this, right, we just learned that, and then the second time around he does this, or she does this, whoever. So you got these 2 riffs, okay? So what I want to do is let you hear the harmonies, okay? Hear just the guitars together. This is a recorded part. Let's listen to those real quick, because when I play it just out in the open, it doesn't quite sound right, but listen and it'll make sense. Pretty cool, right? So again, the first part, the core, if you will, okay, the first guitar is doing this. All we're doing is we're just going to go 2 steps up on both these, okay? So this, the harmony part is this. Okay? Then when going back to the core guitar, okay, when it does this, the harmony part to that is, all right, and we're going to play through these. I'm going to slow these down. We're going to play through both of them one more time, because I want you guys to learn this, because it's cool. It's just something that you can do when you're writing your own stuff. How did I get there? What I like to do is just count up 2 whole steps. Okay, 2 steps, not 2 frets, but 2 steps. So if the 1 note on the 10th fret is this, in this case, because of the key that I'm playing in, and I'm not even going to pretend to know where we're at, because we're jumping all over throughout keys. Sometimes you just have to experiment, in my opinion. If you know theory really well, you might be able to figure some of this out faster. But me, I just like to record the 1 guitar and then just play another guitar along with that and harmonize just what sounds good. Let me try this. Okay, well, didn't like that, so let me try this. Okay, yeah, that worked. Okay, so just experimenting. I think that's just I don't know if it's good or bad. It's just the way I do things. Okay, so counting 2 steps up. In this case, the 10th fret. That 10th fret harmony would be on the 13th fret. So 13, 12, then 9, 10. So this. Second guitar is doing this. The next series of notes where the first guitar is doing this, what the first guitar is doing, the harmony to that is. Alright, second part of the riff. Let me play this through. Here we go. Alright, so just a few power chords here, not too bad. We've got a little tiny riff at the end there to end it out with, but we're basically just playing a B power chord followed by a C, then we're going to go over to the G power chord, then F sharp back, okay? It's really kind of like an anthem, like a battle hymn or something like that, right? We're sort of going to replicate that, but we're going to move up a half step. Again, the beauty of playing this style of music, this style of death metal. The notes would not make any sense in any genre or any other genre of music, but the way we construct things and put things together with the style, it just ends up like being really captivating. At least to me, it's just like it's a beautiful sound. So again, we go from this, then a half step up. So after the B, the C, then the G, F sharp, back to G, we go to a C sharp here, okay? C sharp to a D, to an A, and then we do this little riff here. Okay? Okay, so let's play through the entire thing together here, okay? Alright guys, time for our guitar chat, but real quick, if you do not have my free Metal Riffs and Licks practice guide, make sure you download a copy of that. There's a link in the description. This guide has literally helped thousands of my YouTube subscribers, and I give it away to all of my subscribers, so thank you guys so much for being here. If you have the practice guide, Metal Riffs and Licks, I do have online courses. I have a guitar course for beginners wanting to learn heavy metal style of playing. I also have Metal Riff Master, but I encourage you, links for all that's in the description, but I encourage you first, get my free stuff first. Go through the guide, watch some more videos on my YouTube channel, do all that first, and then decide if my courses are right for you. Now again, this is part 2 of a 3-part series. I will have the videos for all 3 of these lessons in this series in the description of this video here. So do check that out. A lot of great stuff in the description here. So spend some time there after you watch this. But one thing I want you to take away from this, guys, is venture out, okay? I always say this, don't just learn what I'm sharing. Of course, I want you to learn it, that's great and all, but don't just learn that. I want you to venture out. The beauty of death metal style of playing is that, man, you have unlimited freedom. There's no like cage that you're playing in, there's no rules or any of that. Everything's just out the window. At the end of the day though, you just want it to sound cool to you. You want it to sound good to you. It's like, okay, well, yeah, that's something that I wrote. I like this. So take these riffs, like break them down, like just in micro chunks, bite-sized chunks, I always say. And yes, I'm hungry now. I'm gonna go eat after this. But break them down into bite-sized chunks, but learn them, then venture out. Because, okay, this sounds great to me, these riffs, because I wrote them, but I want you to take them and do your own thing with them, and that's going to be the best riff, is the one that you write. Sure, we might get inspired by another riff. Hopefully you're inspired by these, which is why I want you to learn them, but then take off, man, like branch out and just come up with some cool stuff, you know. There's no limitations with this style. You can go all over the place. I mean, really, there's no limitations with any style. There doesn't have to be anyway, but I think in like mainstream music or normal music, we'll call it, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Listen, I listen to a lot of 80s rock and 80s pop. I guess that's my mainstream that I listen to, right? You know, but everything sort of fits, if that makes sense, right? It just kind of all fits together. Whereas here, man, we're just all over the place, right? And just coming up with some really cool stuff. So be encouraged. By the way, if you didn't catch part 1, I'll put the video to that up there. And where this song came from, well, I was testing tones on amp sims, and I was playing through this one amp sim called Bogren Digital's amp knob, the BDH. So I'll put a link to that video if you want to check that out. So guys, thank you so much for watching my videos, for all the support. Keep it metal and keep playing music.